Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who are learning the truth and who do well. Peace and salutations to the 144,000, and the rest of the elect. And to you I say shalom. Coming to you back with another lesson through the Spirit. Now I'm entitled this one, You Can't Escape the Lord's Judgment. Because ultimately, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's judgment upon the planet Earth has already been set before even the foundations of the earth. And that's why it's already predestined who is going to make it into the chariots of salvation, which the elect of the nation of Israel that comprises of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the 1/3 here in America, that consists of the 144,000, which is all prophets, all men, and then that large multitude. And then you have the 2/3 of the nation of Israel that are predestined to not make it because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai put it upon their spirit, did not repent, did not get this truth. That's why whenever you tell Jacob about the truth, about their true heritage, yeah, they may agree, with some things. Oh, I'm an Israelite, but that's as deep as it goes. When you tell them about the nuclear destruction, about the MOTB, about Jacob's trouble, then that's when you lose. And you're like, oh, I don't want to hear about that. They want to be a Israelite and still be in the world, still eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, still commit adultery and all these abominable things that our people love to do. But since they're doing all this wickedness, they have that mindset that, I've been eating pork all my life. I've been wicked all my life. I'm going to get away with it. But really, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is reserving majority of our people, the 2/3 for destruction and that small remnant for deliverance. So it don't matter that you see Pookie and Ray Ray and all these wicked, Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They look like they're winning they're getting away with all this wickedness. Here, your auntie Shaniqua, she been wicked all her life, eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, doing all types of abominations. But here she's 85 years old, still going hard. And then you have brothers in the truth, catching hell, catching infirmities, going through hell, trials and tribulations. But here they're serving the Lord, serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. But that's the chastisement that comes with serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So while the elect, they're getting chastised right now, they're going through that refining period. The 2/3, their chastisement and refining period is going to be that lake of fire, that second death. Because ultimately Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to make that, he's going to draw that line on the sand. Okay, this is my remnant, this is my elect. And then these are the 2/3, which seem to get away with all that wickedness, but really they're just being reserved for the day of judgment. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 39. See now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So once Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has that judgment set up on that person, upon that wicked Israelite, upon that wicked heathen, they can't escape it. Here you may, go through the train tracks and, you crossing the train tracks. You think you're going to make it to the other side. The light is green. But here comes a train. And you're like, okay, then, that train's not moving. They see me. But here, you fall into the train tracks. Your shoe gets untied and it gets cut up in or your boot, it gets caught up on the train tracks and you can't escape it. Then that's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. It don't matter how hard you try. Oh, shit, let me untie my shoe. You're going to try your hardest. But if it's meant for you to receive that judgment, to get ran over by that train, then, that's it. And there's nothing you can do to escape it. And that's what these 2/3 Israelites, along with these heathens, have coming to them. Because they may look like they're winning, like they're, on top of the world, even though our people are still under the curses. Yeah, they may go through their trials and tribulations and their hell, but they're not really feeling it like the elect will be feeling it, because Yahweh Bashim Shai is refining his elect right now, while the 2/3 he's just letting them be. Yeah, they're gonna be under the curses, but you have a lot of these celebrities winning, and they're able to win in the society. You got to do wickedness. So that's why it may look like they're committing all this sin, the Diddy's, the Jay-Z's, but Yahweh Bashim Shai just reserving these wicked ass Jakes. So ultimately, they're not gonna escape. It don't matter how hard they try. Even these Israelites that know that they're in the truth. They think that they're gonna pull a fast one on the Lord, or I'm gonna sell out my congregation. I'm gonna get the bag, and then I'm gonna move to island in the middle of nowhere. I escaped the Lord's judgment. I escaped the missiles. No, ultimately, Yahweh Bashim Shai is gonna delete. He's gonna put to death whatever judgment they have coming to those that are, the wicked of our people. It's already set, so they can't escape it no matter how hard they try. No matter if they get on a plane, if they get in a bunker in the middle of nowhere. If Yahweh Bashim Shai has that judgment set for you to get put to death, and it's going to happen. This is Job 21 and verse 29. Have ye not asked them to go by the way? And do ye not know their tokens? Verse 30. That the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. So all these wicked ass Jakes, these wicked ass heathens, they look like they're winning. They're getting away with all the wickedness that they do. Yahweh Bashim Shai just reserving them for the day of judgment, for Jacob's trouble, martial law, the hour of temptation, T the wild beast. All these Jakes, they're not going to escape all this judgment, and it's going to get nasty. It's going to get ugly. Let me get this next one. This is Sirach chapter 39 and verse 28, because this is what these wicked ass Jakes and these wicked ass heathens, have coming. So ultimately, they're not going to get away from the judgment of Yahweh Bashim Shai. This is Sirach, also known as Ecclesiastes chapter 39 and verse 28. And it reads, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In a time of destruction that pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them. And this is what's going to happen to all these wicked ass people. Right now, the winds of destruction, they're getting held back by the angels. But when Yahweh Bashim Shai gives out that green light, okay, the elect are sealed. The grace period is over. Time to let loose these spirits that are created for vengeance. Verse 29, fire and hell and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Verse 30, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions. Read verse 30 again, and it reads, teeth of wild beasts, scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. Verse 31, they shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth, and where need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. So ultimately, all these spirits are created for vengeance. Once Yahweh Bashim Shai gives out that green light, it's a wrap. All these people that think that they're going to get away, they're not. Because you have a lot of these people in the world, I can't wait till who they're ignorantly called JC comes back. But really they don't know what the day of the Lord consists of. It consists of a lot of destruction, death, people getting put to death, dying by the famine. And all these people that think that once Yahweh Shai comes back, because they believe that JC is going to come back and give out his hugs and lollipops, but that's not the case. This is Amos 5 and verse 18. And it reads, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. For what end is it to you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Verse 19, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and the serpent bit him. So you're not going to get away from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai's judgment. It don't matter where you try to run, where you try to escape. I'm going to hide in this bunker. I'm going to hide in, in the mountains in the middle of nowhere. Even if you do get away from the famine, the sword, Jacob's trouble, World War III, what majority of our people don't believe that they have coming is the nuclear, thermonuclear missiles that are going to hit over here in the land of America to utterly destroy this place. So majority of our people, they don't believe. That's why they have that mindset, I'm going to get away, when God's judgment, I'm going to be good. I don't need Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. I can save myself. But our people, they're about to find out. This is 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9. And it reads, the Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations. And that during the hour of temptation, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is going to keep his elect during that time. It says, and to reserve the unjust to the day of judgment to be punished. So all these jakes that think that they're going to get away, that think they're going to pull a fast one on the Lord, they're about to find out. They're about to fuck around and find out. A lot of them are going to take the Karagma, the MOTB. Then they're going to think, I'm good. I don't need Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. I'm going to take this Karagma. I'm going to trust in Esau, Edom. But they're about to find out. They're about to find out soon that ultimately the only way out is through Yahweh Shai, through Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. This is Matthew chapter 16 and verse 27. For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works. And majority of our people, especially these Israelites that know that they're Israelites, since they're so, you got to keep the law 100% to be saved. Then okay, when Yahweh Shai comes back, when he makes the second coming, he cracks the clouds, he's going to reward all of our people, especially those that know better, the Israelites that know that they're Israelites, claiming that they're going to be saved by the law. Then Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is going to hold them up to that standard. And if they, broke one law, then they're going to be through. That's why ultimately we know that we need mercy. We need, Yahweh Shai, his blood to cover us, because we know that we don't got it. But yet you have our people walking around proud as all hell. You have these Christians that claim, you don't got to keep no law. Then you got these Israelites that claim, you got to keep every single law to be saved. But they're about to find out that, they were wrong, that ultimately the only way out is through Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And you're not going to be able to escape the Lord's judgment. It don't matter if you escape to Africa, escape to Colombia. If Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai has his judgment set up on you to receive that death, then it's going to happen. But that's pretty much the point. Praise, this is edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who are learning this truth from him who do well. Peace and salutations to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Unto you I say, Shalom.